And I'm not very pleased about it, but it is what it is. When I asked God why, he said, repetition. The more you do it, the better it gets. That's not funny. I am the hostess with the mostest, High Priestess Phoenix. I'm not giving you the whole intro because I'm already repeating myself. Patterns. I look at everything as patterns. Since I stepped into this portal on Monday, my messages are not coming out clear. But it's specific messages that are so next level that are not coming out clear. It's like I intuitively know that you can't perceive this message, but I'm guided to do it. And then when I release the video, it's not there for you. And so I asked God, why are we doing this? He said, repetition. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Which is understandable because I'm reading stuff I've never read before, trying to explain things that I've never tried to explain before. And it's kind of mushy, I guess. I'm doing my best, and that's where it's like, Jesus Christ. So you can look back at my last video and say, when I hit the hotspot button, I lost my connection. It was a whole fucking video in there. I did a 3-card spread, and I did a whole oracle. And it wasn't in there. The only thing you got out of it was to stop drinking, which is basically surface level and a great message. But all the extra, the real deep shit that's channeling through my body, you didn't get. And I'm like, am I supposed to repeat it? Or what am I supposed to do? And I just want to point out, every time like all throughout the week as I'm channeling these bigger, heavier messages, they're fucking up my fucking body. I'm getting like headaches and all kinds of shit. It's like, it's coming from Metatron, right? And he activates the cube and all of this stuff. And as a dark being being put with so much light, it's literally crushing my fucking human body. And then, my mind, like right now my head hurts just trying to come up with, it's focusing your brain in a way that, like, the mind power I need to do this is unreal. What is it? Translating visions and symbols and stories into words to make a fucking sentence. It's what I am, a seer, a sage, a medium, shaman. That's all the jobs of that. You can't see what I can see, and all I can do is describe it in the best ways that I can. So it's extremely, heavy work of me doing these descriptives, painting this picture for you in your mind. I'm pulling it from the cosmic mind, through my mind, out my mouth, to put in your ears and into your brain to create visions. I don't think anybody really, as my eyes are closed, I'm just trying to hold my head right now. It's like, I don't think anybody could possibly understand the context of what I'm doing, what kind of energy I am, is what you guys, and that's where all these science, we just spoke all about science, bro. I just broke this all down. Oh gosh, I'm so overwhelmed with what I've been breaking down, but I don't know if I'm breaking it down for myself, because that's where I asked God, why are we going to repeat this? He said, because it'll become easier. So I guess it's just easier to try to access this level of light the more that I'm doing it. But we started with a video of Krishna's. It was just unreal the other night. The inner workings of your mind and how it's connected to the cosmos. Really? And then just all of these next level of readings, like these teachings are just so sacred. And what's like kind of like, it's wild because I give it to you and I'm like, it's still there. Because you haven't got it. So if you haven't got it, it's still there. It's all coming from Metatron. Let me just take a minute. That's the difference between me and card readers. They're just reading the face value of the card. They only see what's in front of the card, and that's exactly what this just said in the last card I read. So I'm like, why am I repeating myself? And then I gotta find that card. have to redo this. And that's what he said, and I just got to do what he said. This card was what I pulled. It was sitting up there, facing backwards through my first video. And I dived into this after talking about alcohol. And then I pulled 3 cards from my quantum tarot to explain to you why we need to understand the quantum realms and where it comes from. And I used this whole descriptive story about fucking Albert Einstein, and then sure enough he pops up in the cards, and it's one hell of a show. But I can't remake that, and I don't understand why we would even try, because if you caught my intro, I didn't even want to start with giving you this stuff. Why? I don't know what it is. It's like a holdback from the universe. And I guess, as I'm hearing it, it's like, man, it was too much for mankind. And that's what I got in trouble for. That's what caused all the trouble. But God said, is I always brought you the fucking knowledge of the knowledge and wisdom of the tree of life. And that was my sin, supposedly. But it's not, because that was just the beginning of this fucking story. So here I am, still feeding you the knowledge and the wisdom from it. And as the High Priestess, it's like, it's too much for you. We're in such high levels that you can't understand this. You need the highest understanding to be in the, to be in the highest thrones. And I explained to, the ascension, how it's worked is so, naturally we started with Christ. I had to master that Christ consciousness. And then I went into the order of the Melchizedek. After that, I was brought in through Vishnu and Krishna. Only this year did you witness me make the transition into the Buddha. We stayed there since the beginning of this year, and now halfway in the year we're with Melchizedek. These are the ascending masters, and I've just been passed on from one to another, in the tree of life, to bring back, life. Life is what it says. So I explained that in my teachings. I explained this unbelievable story about Mother Cabrini and how, the goddess, we talked about the Kabbalah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Trying to, sum it all up, there's no sum to it. It just expands more and more and more, and that's where it is. It's all connected. It's all interconnected. Interstellar, whatever, it's all interconnected. You can't just talk about this without talking about all the things that got you here. The train of thought, and that's what's about to come up in this card as well. The train of thought moves at the speed of light. When you're not stuck in your low vibrational ways of thinking, you go straight to the top. You have to work through your thoughts, right? And this is through your chakras. You have to work your thoughts through your chakras. So then someone like me, that's what I do. I get the visions from God. I've got to work them through my chakras and bring them down to earth. And I'm doing this all fucking day, bro. All fucking day I'm taking visions from God and bringing it down to you. I have to work it through my body system. This is the chakra system. And once I bring it down, I have to bring, ultimately, I have to ground this energy. And that's where I come up to give you the message. But then I have to shoot this energy right back up. And it's coming out of my throat chakra. Right? Oh, that's about right here. It's coming out of my throat chakra, and it's still being powered from the place which it came. So now it's being super powered. And all of this electricity is running through my whole body, bro. Now you take the opposite. I go outside and have a fucking unbelievable experience, and I come running to God about it. I have to work it through all my chakras. Right? And that's where, my judgment and my this and that and all the different ways I view it, till I get to God, and then God tells me how to view it. And then I gotta bring it back through my work it through my chakras, my belief system, and bring it back. We talked about all this bullshit. My upper chakra system is on fire, bro. Literally, my chest hurts, my head, my freaking, all of it. My upper chakra system, and it's funny because I've been working through the lower chakra system. A lot of sacral pains, fucking legs, this and that, belly aches, all of that. Nah, bro, it's my upper chakra system. It's my fucking chest. My chest is on fire, my throat be on fire, my head's all hurting. They're like, are you sick? Bro. It's energy. So imagine you're out just screaming all the time. You're dancing and screaming and breathing and huffing and puffing, and bro, it's your upper chakras. Or if you're just absolutely quiet and you're just climbing a mountain, climbing and climbing. That's your lower chakras. Learn your chakras. God. Just take a breath. I'm close to a fucking Stephen Hawkins moment. You mean like a genius moment? No, I mean like paralyzed. I am a genius. I mean, it's in the cosmic mind. It's what you put in it that makes it so fucking big and bold. And that's it. Smart mind's always like a smart mind like Hawkins or fucking Albert Einstein, stuff like that. They enjoyed learning. And that's what I'm going to talk about this fucking card again. Because I invited fucking douchebag, Wolfman, to be part of this again. And he had no idea what I was talking about because he missed the fucking card. So basically part of this is going back to that invitation, because that's what it is. An initiation. He was offered an initiation. Just gotta find this fucking card again. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's like my back, my shoulders, everything. It's like, ugh, it just feels stretched. I don't know where this card is. I'm gonna look around here. It was in the... Oh, it wasn't this high. It should be right here. Hey! Won't you take it easy back there? Man, he's got a lot of energy flowing through him. Heart, edge. Is this it? Nope. Surgeon, pause. Pandora's box. It was right before Pandora's box. Okay, I was trying to show you that according to this little mappy right here, you've gotten out of yourself, and we've traveled up. So this shows that where we are in our ascension path. They can use the Hebrew letters, which are located up here, and you can't see them. I just realized that. Hebrew letters, you can use those to know where you are in the tree of life. You can also use the tarot cards, as we saw in my Black Arts book. You're going to have to catch my earliest video of, I don't know what I call it, the Kabbalah, some shit like that. Okay, I'm not going to read the oracle. I'm going to really jump down to this. I'm going to read it as quickly as possible. Now myths begin to arise. The truth that must be related when higher and lower worlds meet cannot be understood in normal terms. Images, symbols, and myths must be brought into play. The card of air are often the storytellers, because they clothe the most delicate of concepts into words and catch our attention with the beauty that they describe. And that's what it is to be a writer. The last air card was the Wanderer. Wanderers were often the traditional storytellers of society, bringing news and tales with them from the other lands. That's what I do. I wander the lands and I tell the great stories. Here too begins the world of magic. Magic is the manipulation of images so that they cause an interaction between the higher and lower worlds. And that's what I do. I take the images from the higher realms, the other worlds, and I bring it into your world, giving you life. Giving it new life. It already was existent, just not in your reality. Even advertising is a form of magic, though a base one. Just our psychology and our desires be affected by the manipulation of imagery and sensory output or input. So if you align yourself with the powers that lie behind the appearance of things, you can bring about change in the visible world. Usually by directing, and this is where it cut off, I think. Usually by directing intention through symbols and instruments. This is pretty much where it got cut off. Is what's behind the curtain. What's behind the curtain is the why. Why are they doing this? Everybody, I see what you're doing, but why? What is your intentions? It's not about paranoia, it's about understanding. It's not about, oh, what are they up to? I know they're up to something bad. No, just ask yourself, why are they acting like this? That's all that means. Why are you acting? You can bring about change in the visible world, usually by directing intention through symbols and instruments. Magic discovered, revealed, and understood becomes science. Science rejects the magic that gave it birth, because science then sets about its own work in the world. And I went into this whole description about how science denies, you know what I mean, the other worlds, because they can't. And that's where Albert Einstein came into, and you didn't see it in the video. Excuse me, I'm gonna burp. That's gross. I mean, it's not gross to burp, but just on camera. I told you, my upper chakra system, there's a lot going on up here. what did I say? So I was making jokes about science and stuff, and I talked deeply about Skinwalker Ranch. It's like they fully know that there's aliens, bro. In essence, they're not trying to prove something right. They're trying to prove something wrong and won't just accept. Science won't accept something that they won't accept. They want to prove it and prove it and prove it and prove it and only prove it. And it's like, and that's where Albert Einstein came in and said there's no limits to this. You can't fit this in a box. If they accept that they are dealing with aliens and they have found a portal, then there's the answer. The government already knew that before you, bro. They own that land before they sold it to you. They are fully aware of it, and they couldn't tap into it, and they let you go and fuck with it. A bunch of scientists, to see if you could figure out anything. Here you are, all these episodes later, still testing me. You have no access. You have no understanding. You can't understand what your eyes show you with your own what you see with your own two eyes. You're still using words of phenomenon instead of saying what it is, which is the truth. We are dealing with aliens, and there is a portal here on Earth that they are accessing. You want to keep proving it wrong until you just accept that you're right, and you have all the evidence to prove that you're right. But until you can accept that right, then nothing's all right, and you just question it. I would say you question the unseen, but you see it with your own two eyes. Every day. Moving on. And that's where all this science comes from. Metatron built the foundations of science, and it's all connected. Science is connected to religion, and all of it's made of God. And that's why we're making this big jump into the quantum realms and the understanding of science, and why they're making me learn quantum tarot or teach you. It's like, we just learned tarot. Nope, you're about to learn it a whole nother way. Lovely. And that's it. Just when you think you know, you have no idea. I have no idea what they're talking about. I know what this card meant before they started talking about fucking particles and planets and alignment in the stars. Makes sense, right? Whatever you give birth to, let's see. Whatever you give birth to will be wrestled away for you, and other meanings will be imposed on it. And that's what I talked about my work, as I give the messages, and then others put more on it, and they take it. Never create unless you are willing to give away your creations. And that's what it is. You know what I mean? You don't want people to tap into your creative works. You don't want them to have access to your creative works. It's not yours. You're a form of creativity given by God. If you don't share the works of God, then He's not going to give you any more work to do. Send them out to into the world with integrity, and they will find their own mark there. And that's it. You know what I mean? As irritating as it is that my twin flames steal all my work and go use it as chit-chat and shit and put it on t-shirts and shit, this is where it gets good. But you can make a beautiful myth out of what you create. That way, future generations will keep returning to wonder at the golden flower and smell its fragrance, which no one can adequately describe. That's it. You keep talking all that good stuff about me, and they'll come to me for it. Because you're not it. They will not be satisfied with the cut and dried interpretations of that their parents give them to things. They will return with a yearning to the source. Yep, and I said that. They'll know that you guys have been raping and robbing and stealing my words and the words of all of our ancestors to look cool. To have a lingo on your fucking, on your top chart. But that you don't stand for any of this. And they'll come to me, the source of it. You're not the source. You're just the middleman, the tin man that pours the cup, that just holds the cup. You don't get to taste the cup, you just pour it. Now, this is where it goes to you, Wolfman. It may be a moment to become either a pupil or a teacher, or both. As you see, you're advanced in the understanding of tarot, but just when you thought you knew everything, you don't. There's a lot of things that we can learn from each other if you're willing to learn and quit being a know-it-all. And this is where I extended the olive branch to you. The transmission of knowledge is important. If you want to go further, you will need to find someone who can train you adequately. Nobody knows this stuff but me. Many people have studied it, but you're just a pupil with them. I'm here to teach you to master it and teach it to others. And there's many things that you know that I don't. I know everything of the other worlds. I've come to teach you everything of the other worlds while you teach me the ways of this world. You can't walk in this world without a knowing of this world. And you can't walk happily through this world without the knowing of the other worlds. Now, as far as this, how it went to me is, you will need to find someone who can train you adequately. And that's where I told this story, is as I'm ascending in my teachings, I needed the next ascending master to teach me, teach them. And that's how we got pulled into Jewish mysticism. We got into planetary, which is in astrology, natal charts, Vedic, all of this, how all of these ascending masters, it's a part of their decree and time and how all of them are, but basically from the head, the top throne, it comes from Metatron. So I've got my new master to lead us. And that's what it is we're all students becoming masters so we can school the next generation. But it's going to call for a bit of humility there, my friend. You're going to have to acknowledge my position and honor it. I'm trying to honor your position as man. As a man. In that sense, I look at you not as the fucking King of Wands, because that irritates the shit out of me. But we'll just say, for the sake of peace, a King of Pentacles. And work there. You probably see me as a fool, and that's okay. Every time. That's where I'm supposed to be. But in the sense of, that's what this is. If you have knowledge, then you need to pass it on, but you must find your own ways and means to do this. Right? Now, next one. Possible meaning. A magical initiation. A period of teaching or of training. You're not knowing. You're just not all-knowing. And you don't need to know everything. You just need some fine-tuning. Give me a tuning fork on this guy. Just kidding. It's a joke. But in the sense of, if you have the right mindset of evolution and bettering yourself, then you can do this. You can make it through the dark night of the soul. You can make it through the other side of whoever you were before you put on this skin. I know who you were in one life, but you went on to have many other lives. And all those lives led you right back here to me, buddy. We have work to do. A period of teaching or training, creative work, especially involving myth and story. Advice or consultation, instructions, a new subject of study. And that's where I said I had to repeat this. It had to be heard. But I guess so did that other message. They had to be heard separately and not together, because as you can see, they weren't really intertwined about talking about, overcoming we have the low vibrational class, the 15 minutes of famed people that can only keep their fucking attention span for 30 minutes. We have their low vibrational studies in the beginning. And the deeper you get into my videos, the more understanding you get. We get into that, the skin of Max comes later. all the dirty jokes and the crying and all the great stuff comes later. They're only there for the beginning, the intro. And then their outro. That's what I meant. And, you really didn't help with the olive branch, bro, because I made this whole video, and then I go and watch one of your videos, and you were the most conceited, cocky motherfucker. You made my skin crawl. But I'm like, forgive him. Forgive him. He still has potential. You still have potential. And this is I can compromise here. We can work with you. We can work with you. And that's all God wanted me to do in the beginning, was work with you. I'm like, I can't work with this guy. This guy is a whole asshole. Well, we worked it out. It's the slowest moving energy in the deck is what it is. And that's what came up in my reading. So I pulled 3 cards. Oh, shit. That's a good one on the bottom. The very first card I pulled out ends up being fucking Albert Einstein himself. And I'm all tripping off the image. I'm like, do you guys see the freaking spaceships and the rockets? Do you see him floating out of the image? It was a whole fucking thing. Anyways, we are being called to learn the tarot and quantum. And that's where I was like, see, you could tell me what card this is. What card did it end up being? The Chariot. He knew it when he saw it, but did you know that by the image? Now, how much does the understanding of the Chariot change when you put Albert Einstein into the equation? Ah, that was a good dad joke. Good dad joke. That was a real knee slapper there, God. Meaning it wasn't a punchline, but it was as good as they get. You know, they're kind of nerdy. They got 4 eyes, though. They can see all things. Just kidding. Now we're going to have some fun. Pox on the block. So, oh, God, I cannot believe I'm repeating this. But then, that's what they said is you'll get better at it. Because how many times do we repeat cards? So, I gave you the big understanding, and then I gave you the little understanding, because we need to have an understanding. And once I start in this, you're going to be like, no wonder you don't read these cards. No wonder, huh? Wonder why. Don't start, It's like invoking his name when you say certain words. All right, Einstein's, this is what the strength cards, or the chariot card stands for in the quantum realms. Special relativity. Einstein's theories of relativity have revolutionized the way we see the world. His theory of special relativity reveals that space and time are not absolutes. For example, if you're traveling on a very fast train, time passes more quickly relative to someone who's standing still. It's just that the difference is in the minuscule, we don't know, it's just that the difference is so minuscule we don't notice it. Only when we approach the speed of light does the difference in the passage of time become significant. And then I went to talking about Lewis, about moving at such high speeds. There was also this quote, and a movie came in, it was called Ford versus Ferrari. In the very beginning of the movie, he says something about when you're going at 700 RPMs, 7,000 RPMs. That's when you're going. And he describes this whole nirvana of when he's going at 7,000 RPMs. Is what came to me, the download I got when I was reading this. So that's what it is. Think about it, it's pretty simple. The people that are traveling in motion, time seems like it's going by faster because the imagery is changing around you. You have something else to focus your thoughts on. It's not really. You're literally, it's just the imagery is going fast around you. Time is still going as time does. But time only exists here. That's what's so funny. Everything outside of this is on a time loop, according to you, and it's just in perpetual motion. The moon is constantly fucking spinning and going around. The earth is constantly spinning and going around. Based on its spins and that moon, we decide whether it's day or night and what day or night it is. You created time. The context of time. It's not real. As the goddess, the bearer of time, I'm telling you, it's not real. Time doesn't exist anywhere but here, and it's just a limitation of what you've put on this planet based on the movements of the planets. If I get your ass off this planet, you don't know what time it is. You don't know what day it is. Why? Because you're not seeing the sun and the moon like you did. And that's why it is, you get, what do they call it? Jet lagged. Because you went through time. And you got on the other side and you couldn't adapt to the time it was there. They say the best thing to do is to keep your schedule of time. You're trying to shift with time, but time didn't shift. It didn't. You didn't go faster than the moon or the sun. You didn't travel in time. They say you did because you went a couple hours ahead or a couple hours behind. But you didn't because they're always a couple hours ahead and a couple hours behind. The whole sickness is in your head, bro. The whole sickness. And that flight, sitting on a flight for fucking so many hours with a bunch of people and breath will make me pretty sick too. Have the time of your life is what I heard. Don't get me started on time. It's not even real. What time is it? I don't know. 5:30. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. But is that real? Where is it where you are? Is that what time it is with you? That's my truth, but is it your truth where you are? Am I a lie? Can you see there's two truths? We're both in time, on time, right where time is. And that's where they try to say time, these these timeless, endless fucking videos. I mean, I hope to God time dies. The times you're living. They said these are the end times. Where we stop looking at the clock and what time it is to eat and what time to do this. We stop looking, you know what I mean, to this clock of how to live our life. Oh, it's that time for me to get married. Oh, it's time for me to go to work. It's my bedtime. It's time for me to eat. It's about that time, motherfuckers. You all based it on time. This is not what I talked about earlier, and this is just even worse than what I talked about. Come on, Einstein. That was a good song. Tech 9, Einstein. There's an old school. Is it old? It was created then, but is it not? If we don't reintroduce it right now, isn't it new? Is it before its time? Or it's the perfect time? Or it's behind time? Depends. What time are you on? Devil time? I can do this forever. I'm irritating. I irritate myself with all the shit that's inside of my head. Don't talk to me. Why? Because it's just going to pour out on you. Just talk to me about your feelings or something. God, don't make me talk. I really like the silence. Confirmation. I really like the silence. It's like, you never shut up. I know. It's the universe. It's all the chattering. I be hearing it all. Did you know? Anyways, come on, Einstein. Only when we approach the speed of light does the difference of the passage of time become significant. The chariot traditionally shows a man struggling to control two horses, and it always shows a black and white horse. The horses are connected like space and time. You're always trying to control space and time, though they might fight against each other. This card is about the exercise of personal will, a struggle to master our unruly emotions and contradictory natures. When the Chariot card shows up in a reading, it often indicates that we have achieved a certain level of mastery over ourselves. The Charioteer symbolizes hard-won maturity. And I went into this whole fucking story about how I didn't fuck that bitch up last night and how that's mastery level of myself. That I didn't feed into the desire to fight, to prove myself to any of that. And then the video came back on a little bit and it said something about that. That's what I faced that battle in the day before when I pulled these cards. And I said I was going to upload those videos. I pulled these cards and the High Priestess card came out and it was a mirror on the wall. And I realized that I was chasing pride. So I'll save the video. I'm not going to repeat this. I'm tired of repeating myself. Oh my god. I am really going to have to repeat myself for the rest of my life. You know that, right? And if I don't tell you to leave that's no longer serving you, then I didn't do my job. Fucking serious? 55 years, bro. Well, 55 in a couple months. I'm going to have to keep doing this. Repeating myself, because even though you might have heard this, nobody's ever heard this before. It's crazy. Anyways, this card is about, the Charioteer symbolizes the hard-won maturity. And that's just where I am, is how I'm handling situations. That maturity comes with growth, with wisdom, understanding. But the wisdom and understanding and growth comes from experience. How many times did I have to keep going around this mountain before I learned how to, tackle this mountain? And just because I was able to take it on a chin from this chick doesn't mean that I'm, you know what I mean? I might take it so lightly next time. And that's where it is. You remember what you did last time and do it better. No matter what that last time was, remember what you did last time and do it better. You don't persecute for what you did. You critique it. You fine-tune it. So what could I have done? Not told her about popping her pussy in the name of Jesus? What'd you say? It's in last night's video. I don't want to get into it today. I asked for a slapping. In the essence of, you asked for it there. Yeah, I see that. I do see that. Could you have held that back? Most definitely. I think I could have. Okay, maybe don't do that next time. Okay, I'll work on that. If you put someone in my face, though, you can just let people slap on me? No, I'm just saying. And that's where you gotta be like, oh, okay. Alright, so the next card that we pulled, which is really funny, took me forever to figure it out, was the Centaurus, which is the Centaur, which is the Sagittarius, and it's actually the Knight of Pentacles. And so that was our second card. So our first one was where we were at, and we're in strength, not trying to control time and space, but moving with it. The second card is the Knight of Pentacles, and I'm going to explain that to you right now and give you the short run on this. It took me forever to figure out, you know, where all these cards are. That's why it's like, you'll get better at this, I guess. And that's it. It's like, how many card decks do you know? You just throw away the guidebook and you just go off of your knowing of what the card is? Is that what you got? I mean, do you see the Knight of Pentacles in that? It's kind of a knight, right? A little horsey. Centaurus. Centaurus is a large southern hemisphere constellation, full to the brim of phenomenon. What does that mean? It's if you're on the Earth, it's part of the southern hemisphere's constellations. Us in the northern hemisphere can't really see it. It's down south. You ain't never been to it. Just kidding. It contains the tiny Proxima Centauri, the nearest star to the Sun, the binary system Alpha Centauri, and the galaxy Centaurus A, which contain a black hole. The constellation itself depicts Cryon, the centaur, the archetypical teacher of Greek mythology. Cryon was famous for training and educating heroes like Jason and Hercules, as well as being a skilled trainer. They're telling me to show you something. Hold on. In my birth chart, if you get a proper birth chart, a proper natal birth chart of your 12 houses, it should also tell you your Cryon placement. And that's where you're being trained. What's my Cryon placement? Taurus. Interesting. Yep. Okay, moving on. And that's where I'm working through. They're training me in that particular area. That's what that would mean for you. Go do a natal chart. You're going to need that information going forward. It's like a birth chart. Anyways, let's see here. Cryon was famous for training and educating heroes like Jason and Hercules, as well as being a skilled healer. Accidentally wounded by Hercules, he gained much wisdom from unsuccessful attempts to cure himself. The Knight of Pentacles has many of Cryon's qualities of patience and fortitude. He is a bit of a plodder compared to the other knights that has the stickability to see a project to the end. He represents small, patient steps rather than giant leaps forward. And that's what it's like. Oh, this is that slowest moving energy, the snail trail over here. The Knight of Pentacles. Methodical and all that bullshit. And out of this, it was like, you know, going with time and space and having patience is what that is. What does patience mean? And I went into a huge teaching of that. Patience does not mean waiting. There's nowhere in this whole book that God says wait on him. It says seek him in all things. Be still. Be ready. If you think you're waiting on something, then you'll get tired of waiting. It's a stillness. It's not an expectation, but an understanding that when nothing is happening, you are not waiting. You are still before the happening comes. You're preparing, and typically mentally. And that's what this is. It's like you can't control time and space right now, right? That's what this one is talking about. You have to balance this. Your idea of controlling time and space. That things need to happen this way, that space. You need to put things into space by this time. And what that space needs to look like. Those are the constructs of your mind. You see this future, right? You paint this future in the space of your mind. And then you give yourself a time limit as to when this should be happening and how it should look. By this time, and by this time, and by this time, and this is what time it is. Patience and understanding that. And that's where it is. It's like divine timing. What is divine timing? Alignment. That's all it is. It's the alignment of what? You. When you're still, then things can align. But when you're chaotic inside, things can't align for you. Why? Because honestly, you're jumping from thought to thought. So the universe can't create based on that. When you're full alignment on what you really want, your heart aligns with your heart knows what it wants. And your mind is finally in alignment with what it wants. And your life is finally moving towards what it wants. Then what it is, as long as it's for, in a full alignment for you, will align with you. And it's just coming in alignment with yourself. And that's what I show you. It's like the right job. It's not all that. You have to take the right measures to get the right job. You have to be the right man to have the right woman. You know what I mean? And it's a full alignment within yourself. You know, when you're prepared, you put yourself out there. And when you put yourself out there, as long as you're not chasing, you shall receive. Okay? The last card that we faced was the Seven of Pentacles, which was a reap what you sow energy, right? And that's right here. Quarks, that's what it's called, quarks. Quarks are the building blocks of our world, foundational or fundamental particles that make up protons and neutrons in the atomic nucleus. Stop there. Why are we doing this? Because there's people that only believed in science that we can bring from their communities with an understanding of their community to help them understand ours. You can't go talk to a scientist unless you know science. So we need to educate ourselves in their field to bring them into ours. And that's what we do here. Why are we learning about Israeli beliefs? Because we're trying to get the Israelis covered in the blood of Christ. They're not going to like that. Yeah, neither do the witches. Neither do the Hindus. Neither do the Buddhas. But God wants them. He wants them part of this family. And so in order to understand them and why he wants them to be part of our family, we need to learn about them. I'm not a smart guy. And there's a lot of really bright minds out there that because of their way of thinking, their very extraordinary way of thinking, they've been denied the gates of God too. Because they challenge the books that we read based on the books that they've read. That's all. Science community, the medicine, I can, through me and my extraordinary life that God has given me, I can bring them all into this, where I can sit down and I can have a conversation with the Pope and neuroscientists, as well as these physicists that are studying fucking extraterrestrial phenomenon, down to, down to the philosophers and all of those of every religion, where we can sit down at the big table of minds and use all of our great thoughts to bring all of the people together in unity instead of discord, where we can break down some of these rules, some of these break into the relativity of what it is, how it's all interconnected. I'm not a scientist, but what makes a scientist is a person, a bright mind that can take in a lot of information and process that information. So in one way, we could all be scientists if we just were able to process the loads of information that they take in. How are you becoming spiritual with me? Because you're processing the loads of information that you're taking in. Do you think that my spiritual teachings is too much of a load for them to take in? Okay, well then let's take in their minds a little bit. And that's what we do around here. We take in the teachings of the ancestors, the great minds of time, the cultures, the studies, the religions, the books they live by, the rules they walk in. We choose to understand them in hopes that they can have an understanding of us too. If we ever want them to understand us, then we owe them the respect to understand them. When I first started this whole journey, it was with an understanding of the Native American tribes. I was guided by the people of the land before I was ever guided by the gods. These were the first people of this land. And then we moved on, and I started, we followed the timelines of how this land is your land, this land is my land. In this land of the home and the free, the home of the brave and the free, we have all cultures. We have all religions. We have all creeds and all sexes. And this, in the Pride Month, we celebrate all of them proudly as our brothers and sisters, regardless of their weird beliefs, in the hopes that they just believe in God and a certain conduct of being kind to one another. We can build off of that. It's the basic foundation, bro. An open invitation to build. It's just an open mind. As much as the scientists know everything, they don't know what I'm teaching them. But they'll be hungry because scientists are hungry for knowing. They're truth seekers. Just like us. This is just a new truth that they've never heard, but it's not a lie. And neither is what they know. And that's where the division was made. They say the Big Bang Theory. They say that you evolved from fucking primates. That doesn't go very far from what I teach you in the religion of the darkness to the light and how it was all created. It doesn't go very far from the teachings of Hindu that says that you evolved through all of the layers of existence before you became a man. It doesn't not align with the evolution of most animals and shit like that, going back to the Atlanteans that learned how to survive underwater. Where the fuck did we get with sirens and fucking, you know what I mean, and fucking mermaids and all that shit from? Down to Bigfoot out there in Montana and shit. You'd have to grow hair. You'd have to grow fur to stay warm. Every other animal can evolve. We're supposed to be the most evolved mammals. How does that work? Our knowing makes us more evolved. But we're not evolving with that knowing. We're using that knowing to hold us back. I mean, look at Tesla. there's a seed. Alright, let's keep going. Protons and neutrons. Yeah, Jimmy Neutron. It's like, what are we talking? I know. Trust me. I get a little out of my comfort zone, too, with different types of people. Not just smart people, but just people that, you know, I don't know. It's just like, these words don't feel comfortable. Like, these aren't the typical conversations we have in the streets. I can rise to your high vibrational conversations, but I'm going to be very low vibrational and talk something inappropriate at some point because I have just not been educated to have these conversations with each type of people all the time. You type of people, you are a type. You're not a better type, but you are a type. Right? They come in 6 varieties. Only 2 are sustainable. The up and down quirks. The other 4, charmed and strange, top and bottom, quickly decay into the lighter varieties. The 7 of Pentacles represents a situation where we have gathered all that we need, often showing a harvest. It reminds us that we have abundance of resources and options. The battling energy of the 7 is grounded in Pentacles. The meaning for the means for success are at our fingertips, and we are encouraged to count our blessings. And that's really it. That's the mastery again. It's like, don't you see what you've gained? You look at your gain as material gain, and so therefore you feel like a loser and look like a loser out here. And I went into a huge teaching about this and went into tears about, you know, the twin flames in a lot of the world, because of their low vibrational view on my form of detachment, they see me as worthless because I don't have the things of this world. But it was the act of detachment that gave me all of the spiritual gold of the other world, where I can literally create anything from nothing. And so the power was releasing the power, and in releasing your power, you're bestowed with more power, if that makes sense. But with great power comes great responsibility. And so going back to it, it's like, what do you have to be grateful for? Peace, maturity, understanding. You know, the levels of succession that I got through, you know, my position is that I don't worry, stress, control. I question a lot, but I'm meant to question. I'm a truth seeker. But I don't seek, I don't chase, I don't change, I don't, you know what I mean? In the sense of, I don't manipulate things, I don't try to control things, I don't change things, I go with things, and I know things are always going, and I'm just going with them. And that's peace, joy, the fruits of the Spirit, really, long-suffering, patience, you know, giving, all of this. Bobby said in the beginning, when I asked him to leave his wife, he said, why does somebody have to lose their life for you to feel love? Alright. If you want me to love you, you have to give up that life, dipshit. But the rest of you are going to have to lose yourself to find yourself. I had no love in my life until I gave up my whole life. And now I'm filled with love, and all I do is love everyone. I bitch a lot. I have a lot of emotions about what I'm going through. I work through them, but it's always love. All love. I get flared up in my fucking flesh about experiences that I had because I have some repressed memories or something attached to this experience. I work through it, but then I'm right back to love and life. I'm not a love and light type person, but I mean, I have love for my life. I have love and understanding for the trials and tribulations that God puts me through. I understand that, you know what I mean, I am his strongest warrior, and I love that he loves me enough to, you know, put me in position. I'd be pissed off at him, like, why I gotta do this, but, you know, it's because this is what I made you for. And a lot of you walk around with this, why am I here? What is my purpose? And you're searching outside yourself, you're chasing, you're searching, you're worrying, you're watching time, you're trying to create a future, you're trying to have control, you're trying to have understanding. You got it all on lock. Unlock it and see what's really underneath it all, which is nothing more than your fear of letting go and being free. Bobby didn't have a great marriage. He was just afraid to let it go and be free with me and what that might look like. I don't know. How long were you going to watch me until you decided that it looked like a good thing? And that goes back to, you know, the other shit. It's like, you want to date me? You want to try me out? See if it works? And if it doesn't, what? What does this mean? Just stuff like that. So, you know, what do you have to show for it? And then that's what it is. You have nothing to show for your life. I literally am the philosopher's stone. I'm the alchemist's gold. This life was only it was only the bus I rode in on, buddy. And that life served me nothing well. I'm glad to have gone through the work to destroy that life and allow God to create me a new life, as he said he would. And as the Knight of Pentacles, he is the slowest moving energy in my life. And that's why I said I'm not waiting on him. But you must. If I don't wait on God, then I take control and I steer this boat straight into a ditch. He's gonna have to stop what he was making for me and come bail me out of my ditch. It's gonna slow everything down. Just go with the flow. I wish I could force a thought. I wish I could force an energy. I wish I had the force in me to know what to do. But it's that knowing that you not knowing you need to be calm with instead of always trying to control time and space. Feel it. What am I supposed to do with the rest of my night? Right? If I walk around like that, I'm looking for stupid shit to fill with my time put into this space and with my time. If I just sit and enjoy my space and my time, it fills itself up with joy. Not being in control is being in control. It's really paradoxical, and that's why I was like, these fucking messages, Jesus Christ. With that being said, I feel like I have to go to the bathroom real bad. I've never had to go pee during a video. Never. Have you ever heard me say, hey, I gotta use the restroom? Is this an old lady thing or something? Maybe I came in on a full tank. Just kidding. It's just kind of funny to me. I've never had that sensation during the video. And I burped. Jeez, my chocolates. What is going on? Have you eaten today? Not really, no. I think I had a burrito. One of those like little 69-cent burritos. When I don't want to eat, I force myself one of those because it's like protein and shit. Alright, let's finish up on something new. We did all this old shit that I already read. Let's do one more new card. I told you, the stuff that's coming out of me is so next level and it's scientific. That's why I don't think you can understand it because I'm fully just grasping it as it's coming out of my mouth. We're not science guys. Who's the science guys that we brought in, bro? Or we're bringing them in. Do you know some fucking real smart peoples that only believe in science? I mean, alright, so we got Joe Bart. Okay, a card just fell out on the ground. I can't see. I hit my head on the table. I've done that a couple times. Oh, shit. You don't want me to read this card, God? Alright. Get ready to cry. Orphaned. Have you been abandoned? I made jokes about that. Don't worry, Starseeds. The planets are looking after you. Let's just read it. I'm not going to give you anything but the words. I'm going to try not to make it any worse than it is. On page 16 and 17. A sense of loss, an identity crisis, recognizing that you don't fit in, the need to belong, uncertainty about your place. This is the beginning of the dark night of the soul. You just wake up and you realize that you just got this overnight, like for me, you just have this overwhelming sense that this isn't me, this isn't my life. And you start questioning how this became your life. The people around you, what you're doing, why you dress this way. You just look at everything like, this is my life. They call it a midlife crisis, bro. Where you just, in the middle of your life, you just evaluate your life and make immediate changes. I call it the midlife crisis. But it just happened. I just woke up. And I didn't recognize anything. In the need to belong, uncertainty about your place. And that's what was really hard, is when I realized I was so isolated, I kept trying to put myself into places. But this whole thing was about reconnecting with people. Because I realized when I woke up that I had disconnected from all humanity within the context of my mind. I was just living through life. I wasn't really having connections with people. I was just moving through life, bro. Just doing the measures of my mind. I was just following every thought of my mind. And so when I started this, again, it was like trying to make connections in the music, trying to make connections with my family, make friends. This guy, I was trying to connect, but what I was meant to do was, you know, as I went looking for these connections, I understood why I was disconnected. It was a painful lesson. Like, I woke up and I was like, you know, how come I don't talk to my sisters and shit no more? And I start to dig up these bones, bro. You're fucking zombies, bro. I'm gonna eat your flesh. Meaning it's hard feelings, and you realize you disconnected for a very good reason. And you should have never tried to reconnect that fucking line. And that's really difficult. The beginning is very difficult. The identity crisis of you're just not you, and you're not happy with who you are and what you've become. And everybody can see something's wrong with you. And that's what happened to me. I just started changing. Whenever I find a part of me, and that's what will happen tomorrow, and that's it. You find a part of you that you're not pleased with. And you go to the root of this part of where it came from, and you reprogram it, and you become pleased with the understanding of where this part came from. You incorporate this part into your life, but you keep moving on. And that's facing your shadows, you know what I mean? Let's start with the beginning, everybody. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I'm not sure what to do about it, but I know I'm not happy, and I have to do something about my happiness. And nobody else can do it but me. Can you say that? Can we start this together on the right page? What is starting this in our lives? A lack of happiness, a lack of joy, a lack of love. There's no soul in our experiences. All the good things about life is we're being deprived. So this is why the awakening starts. I wasn't happy. And then I met Russ, and Russ wasn't happy. And then I met Allie, and Allie wasn't happy like me. And then I met Marshall, and Marshall wasn't happy like me. We find people that are suffering from our same unhappinesses. Right? That's that connection. Misery loves company. We're all connected in these unhappy feelings. We need to, you know, work through this and be connected in a happy feeling. That's how this works, but this is how it starts, is you realize you're not pleased with yourself and with your life. You don't know exactly how to fix it, but you know you've got to do something about it. Welcome. It can happen at any age. Oracle message. We were all meant to have connections with other people within our families, societies, and the larger culture. No man is an island. And it's important to recognize when being a part of, rather than separate from, is essential to your well-being. The issue at hand is a need to find where you fit, to be true to your core truths and values. Perhaps you no longer identify with a group or community the way that you did before, and you need to find a new situation. You might be feeling a deep sense of loss and confusion. That was me in the work field. I was very lost. I couldn't just connect. I couldn't just be, chill. And that's it, dude. It happened to me in so many different areas. I used to love concerts. It was my favorite thing. I grew up on them. And I kept trying to do what I used to love. And I couldn't do it anymore. I despised what it was. I hated it. Not the music. And that's why it's like, I could go to an outdoor venue if it's not too much, but what's the music? What vibes are they sending out? Because they're calling in those vibes, bro. That's what's going to be in the crowd with me, is those vibes you're sending out. It's going to call in those people, and then I'm crowded with those type of people all over me. Even if I'm a fan of you, I can't be around your people, bro. Address the need for belonging and know that you will find your place with others of like mind or spirit. And that's it. I mean, I might be with the medicine guys and the fucking scientist dudes. It's okay to let go of, and that's because they know what it means to be of a different mindset. They're not going to tease me for thinking differently, for thinking outside of the box, for looking for answers and having proof. Scientists, you know what I mean? I'm just a scientist of religion. I'm showing the science of religion. It's okay to let go of pressure to fit in. Not everyone will understand you. It's time to move on. And that's it. Twin flame, bro, like, they have to be able to evolve with you. Like what, I'm just supposed to take you in with the science guys and you're just gonna smile and wave and look like a cute guy? That's my husband. Do you have anything to add to this conversation? What do you think? Do you want to be part of this conversation? Or you don't have time because you're too busy, worrying about the things of this world? You think we don't? We're thinking about the bigger things of this world, not the small things. Like dinner time and what we're doing this weekend. What are your plans for the 4th of July? Fucking fireworks, people! Why do we have to plan for fireworks? It happens every 4th of July. Go out on the day and get the fireworks. Why do you have to plan for fucking Christmas? Why do you have to spend 6 months on a day of giving? Why can't you just give to them for 6 months and on that day just celebrate each other and Christ? Sorry, time gets on my nerves. Sorry, I'm under a lot of pressure. What is it? I don't know. It's inside. It's internal. I'm 17. I'm being triggered. I have 3 twin flames under the number 17. Relationship message. As you shift and evolve your commit to your own growth, you long for support, but may be disappointed and hurt by others who are not providing what you feel you deserve. Perhaps you are drifting away from this relationship because you're in a different stage of personal growth. Oh, that's what I really saw. The love is there. It's not that you're not smart enough, bro. It's just you're not on this journey. You don't have to be smart to take this journey. You become very educated along the way. You gotta be brave. And that's it. It's like he has no understanding to the depths of my emotional fucking pool and how I work through that throughout the day and how, words and actions lead to, experiences and teachings. He doesn't understand any of that. And it's not like I expect you to have the understanding, but you don't want to know. And that's what he said. Can we talk about the weather? You want to see what I can do with the weather? Did you forget that I'm a weather witch? Do you want me to send weather to you? How low vibrational is that? Can we just talk about the weather? I was very hurt by that. Not by your idiocracy, but my blind eyes to the truth in front of me. I can't hold a conversation with you. I never could. You could never hold it down in a conversation without throwing your dick in the pit. I feel like, as I'm seeing this, I see Russ and his dumb girlfriend. Damn, we're learning some fucked up lessons. You're not. I am. They look good on paper, right? They look beautiful on the outside. But there is fucking... the emotional depth and wit of these fucking people. Do they have the capacity? Yeah, if they didn't see past the fucking surface, but all they see is the surface and what it can provide and how they need to get ahead on it. I feel like a fucking... I don't know. Just shame. It's like, why did you think it would work when this person can't even hold a conversation with you? Oh, God. I sit around drinking. Oh, God. And that's it, me just lowering my standards to have companionship. And that's what it was. I was trying to logically work this out. Can I work with this? Can I work with this? How could this work? No, bro. This is not working for me. You don't work for me. All that space and time doesn't work for me. My love language is literally time and attention. You don't have the time or the mental capacity to give me the type of attention that I'm searching for. And it's not that needy girly attention. It's literally, as I said, a mind fuck, where we could sit here and literally play fucking mind games and bounce ideas off of each other and fuller understanding in the search for truth. As I say this, it's like if ego over here, Oscar the fucking, the tarot reader, is really about those words, then there is a possibility that we could have interesting conversations before teachings. We can have interesting, intriguing, enlightening connections. Non-physical, of course, but in the sense of, can you build a non-physical or a non-physical relationship with this person if push comes to shove? And that's where all that came out. If I'm not fucking with you, if I'm not fucking you, you're not going to be hanging out with me. And if I can't fuck you, then why am I hanging out with you? And the reason I can't fuck you is because I can't see a future with you. Is that my fault or yours? Yours. I can see all endless possibilities of future, but until we get to you in your low vibrational ways, I can't see. And I'm trying to see past the words that are coming out of your mouth, and there's nothing past it. There's no truth. There's no depth to the words that are coming out of your mouth. They're just words to sound, to sound appealing. Well, I peeled the banana, and you know what I found? Your fucking dick pic. Thanks. That's all I got out of that. Pretty much. Alright, and that's just it. You just kind of shift, dude. Don't you ever just look at people that Kanye look at the Met Gala? God, what the fuck am I doing here with these idiots? That's my fucking internal fucking guidance system, is that look inside. And you can see it on my face. People will be seeing it on my face, that resting bitch face. Like, ugh. I can't hide the look on my face. I feel this way, bro. What is it? I was using it. You want to take it?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Alright, and that's just it. Kanye, I feel that look, bro. Perhaps you are in a new relationship and discovering you don't share the same values, beliefs, so you feel left out, unable to get to that intimate place of safety and belonging. Take heart, and that's what pissed me off about Russ. You have no idea how deep I had to go into my heart to fucking find this out and be faced with truth and walk away based on my value. You had no idea how bad it felt to open up my heart and then rip it out. I opened it up completely to this person, only to rip it out. Why? Because it was best. It was the right thing to do. I can't give my heart to a person that can't give me their mind, their time, their affection, their attention, their truth. Yet he wants me to give him my pussy. They're connected. The two are connected. Sorry. Bye. Take heart, as Spirit knows, my stomach's burning as I just said all that, knows that knows you and loves you and will steer you in the direction of those who accept you as you are without artifice or agenda. And that's why I had to stop, fucking Wolfman. You don't know what you saw it in the fucking, you saw it in the cards, bro. Let me tell you what you don't know. And how important it is to put people on the right path. I know the right path because my spirit's saying to go against what you guys are saying in your fucking readings. But you're telling people to go into destruction, to stay into destruction, to stick it out, that this is going to work out. It doesn't matter how fucking far in time our hearts go. This is karma, motherfucker. I'm not staying in hell with you. I'm going to learn this, I'm going to leave this karma with you. I'm going to leave this soul contract. We're stuck in our misery. We're going to keep playing this role out until one of us rises above this role. It's always me. And you're telling people in your card readings to stick it out with them. Instead of get the fuck out, bro. You're not telling them to manifest something new. You're asking if God is sending them something new, and the answer is always no, because they haven't left the old. They haven't detached. You're keeping them in these love readings in a perpetual state of unhappiness based on love. I loved him. I love them all. But I love myself more. And why? Because I know that he can't love me the way that I need. And this is going to hurt, to lose something I love in the hopes of something I don't know exists. But I do. I know that God created someone for me. He didn't create me to be an island. He keeps trying to send me lemons. I want a peach tree. That was a good one. Fucking apples. I'm done with the apples. Johnny Appleseed, fucking Adam in his apple. Fucking got stuck in his throat. That's why he can't talk. Choke your ass. Don't compromise yourself to belong. It won't be worth it. It won't be worth the price. And that's what I said. He was trying to conform me, bro. He was trying to conform me. He was trying to date me. And in that dating, he was going to conform me. That's what a dating is. It's a game of compromise, dude. I'm gonna get to know you so I can break you. No, I'm gonna break you out first. We're gonna break through this. And that's it. What's your breaking point? This is it. You done broke the point. Prosperity message. This card reminds you that you can't be all things to all people. You're not going to be popular with everyone, and that has to be okay with you. Be clear about your mission, your brand, your work persona, and your contributions to the world, as these must be the base on what you authentically have to offer, not something you think will sell or you perceive they may want. And that's where I'm supposed to be working on, is the narration of my documentary. I'm not going to make this pleasing. It's going to sound mortifying. The descriptive words I'm going to put together of what this really is. And we're going to take that love and light. But in that, the suspense and the action and the intrigue will still bring those of the dark straight into the light of it. Only those with the dark preset are going to make it through the dark night of the soul. Those of the light are too afraid of the dark. So I'm not going to make this light for them. We'll keep those loving lighters, those people that want to stay on the surface, that want to protect their loving life, and don't want to go to the depths of, pain and suffering of their own or anyone else's. We'll keep them far away from us. Remember that 2H blade that you have called the serpent's tongue. Use it wisely. You can use it to bring people in, and you can use it to push people away. In this case, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to be very clear about my mission, what I do over here, my work persona, my contributions to the world. And these must be based on what's authentic, what I authentically have to offer. And that's it. I know exactly what business I stand on. And I'm not selling you nothing that's not real. This is not a fucking walk in the garden. You're going to be walking on fucking coals. You are going to burn to ash. And from that ash, you will rise. But the whole process of this is to completely break down your entire existence, so we can start fresh in the soul that you were before you put it on. You will attract abundance by being completely yourself. Stay in your own lane. That's where you will shine and where you will experience prosperity. And that's it. I don't want to be in a room where I said a dirty joke and somebody's appalled. Who brought them in? Who brought the sensitive ones in? I don't need that. And that's why I always say I'm a witch. Does that scare you? Then run. Run. I'm very much a witch. I do all kinds of work with the dead. I dance naked in graveyards. I do ceremonies and full moon rituals. I am a witch. I pray to the demons and to the darkness. Why? Because they are here with me in the light. If that scares you, then run. Your fears are going to keep you from God, because underneath all of that is God. And that's what it is. It's going to be a fucking Stephen King fucking description there. Not really. We got to keep it more goosebumpy. Got to keep it a little G-rated. But then I'm X-rated, so really, am I really supposed to, like, you know, that's what I always say is, I always try. I can't be Mother Mary out here. I am eventually going to talk about blowjobs in front of a crowd. We're going to talk about sexual acts. We're going to talk about rape. We're going to talk about beatings. We're going to talk about drug use. We're going to talk about all those things you do not want to talk about. Twin flame, you don't want to talk about it? Then get out of my majesty. You have no voice. Your opinion doesn't count. You have no depth. You have no place in the house of truth. Those that want to be heard about the truth and the suffering and the overcoming are welcome in my house. Those that don't want to walk in truth and continue to suffer are not welcome in my house. It's an action step. Anyways, let's see. That's where you will shine and where you will experience prosperity. Only fucking thug life people are coming to have this life. Protection message. The shadow side, and that's so many female artists. You see them as prissy little girls. You think these girls ain't coming? They want God. They're the only one that don't. The shadow side of this card speaks to the essence of abandonment. Perhaps you feel a need to remain apart because intimacy is too threatening. Ha! There you go with that song, Kanye. Because the intimacy is killing me. Whatever. I don't care. Let's see. Perhaps you feel the need to remain apart because intimacy is too threatening. It also warns against creating inappropriate family structures in order to conceal old wounds. That'd be Russ and his very inappropriate family structure as they're out there getting drunk. They're hiding it. They're all wounded. It's not hiding anything. It's so obvious to the fucking, you know, the plain eye. It's time to address the unhealthy alliances you formed and make a decision to heal the past. I'm seeing Marshall Mathers and his whole round of fucking junkies over there. Anyways, you guys are no better than the company you keep until you get rid of that company and start, you know, having room for better company. You will not be abandoned by the world if you claim yourself as a whole. Not all relationships are dysfunctional, and not all of them will disappoint you. Don't abandon yourself. You can connect to others in a healthier way once you recognize your patterns and consciously choose to interrupt them. Life wants to love you. Let it in. And, you know, that's it. All we can do is become of our patterns, our shortcomings, our behaviors, and correct them. That's it. And by correcting them, then we no longer are acting like people that don't take the initiative to correct themselves. And we are welcoming people that have such higher morals, values, and integrity. And that's just it. It's like this higher level of understanding that you deem me as crazy welcomes me into rooms that you would not be able to step into. You can't hold the fucking flame to their conversation. Something, oh man, Royce, remember that? Royce shared something amazing. Words will get you in, but character will keep you in. Something like that? Is that what it was, Royce? Damn, great memory, huh? No, it was important. It was chiseled in the importance of time. Other stuff I don't remember. But that's it. Your words can get you in a room, but your character is going to decide whether or not you stay in that room. And that's it. Russ can talk himself into, you know, great opportunities, but the way he acts is what doesn't, you know, and that was Kanye. He didn't act accordingly to the rooms that he stepped into. He wanted to walk him. He really wanted to be part of these conversations. But when he came down to having a conversation with someone like this, they had nothing to add to they had no value to the conversation. And that's always Russ, trying to be part of a conversation, but has nothing to speak on. He just wants to be part of it. He'll dress it up and do anything to be in the room. But once you let him in the room, There's Kanye. Hey, look at my new song. Look at my... Remember Logic when you talked about Kanye in the room? Like, oh God, he's being so loud and obnoxious. And unfortunately, Wolfman, you give off that same vibe, bro. That look at me vibe. Why? Because you're isolated and you want people's attention because you've denied yourself people's attention, but you only want it. You're only accepting of one type of attention, which is, you know what I mean, lust. I was giving you love, not lust. I may have lusted the shit out of you if I got too close. The love was there. That love will get you straight in lustful situations. I'll be wanting to lust the shit out of you. I have to love you first, though. Anyways, and that's not helpful since I love everyone. Ooh, stand back. Just kidding. You're orphaned because you're set apart. But you're set apart because they're building a very special place for you. There was never a place for me. There's never been a priestess like me. There's not, and even the priestess that practice, wherever those bitches are, they're practicing in weird places. I don't want to be part of theirs. God's building a new playground for me. People like me. And that will be, he literally gave me the blueprint of how we're going to build it when he gives me the money to build it. And that's it too. Are you ready to build it? I mean, I thought I was still working on my relationships at this point. That's where it is. It's like divine timing. I'm looking for my book Kabbalah cards. That's why you hear all that muffling. I lost them. There's so many cards in this damn thing. So anyways, I repeated the teaching and it actually did come out quite better. More thorough and clear. Other than where the fuck these cards are. And so we are learning quantum realms because we are being introduced to a new reality of consciousness, which are people of this world that consciously think in the terms of science and medicine. So with the help of Metatron, who was Enoch, we are going to go into their world and try to bring them into ours. But it's going to take a higher level of understanding to access this kind of information. This is the information, you know, Albert Einstein came out there. It's like the biggest minds. It doesn't matter who has the biggest pocket or the loudest mouth. What kind of information is channeling through your stupid thoughts, your low vibrational thoughts and feelings? These people think at a higher frequency. And then very logical, they don't really put too much feeling into it. And here I come to teach them about the importance of their feelings and how the two align as this chariot. Want to talk about time and space? Let's talk about your feelings. This would be great conversations, don't you think? But in the essence, I can walk in that room with all of them, all the world leaders, all the biggest minds in the world, and we can have a great conversation, hours and days and lifetimes. We can talk about everything under this world. Can you come and have a conversation with me? I don't expect you to be smart. But don't act like I'm stupid. And don't say things like I'm crazy. That's what you said about Albert Einstein. That's what you said about Benjamin Franklin. That's what you said about Nikola Tesla. That's what you said about every prophet. They were possessed. Whatever, Bill. You're crazy. Hey, Bill Nye the Science Guys and stuff. We're looking to our smart friends. Do you have a smart friend that only believes in science? Okay, can you share this video with them? Bring them into religion? Bring them into the light? They can help. It's not like I know anything about science. We're learning together. I'm a student, and I have to be your teacher, and I could use another teacher, and we could, you know, learn together. And that was that whole card. I told you. Okay? Hey, I love you. Later. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.